Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Now, I want to start off by saying I'm not seeing any crazy signs of development. I like to lead with some good, positive news. I'm not seeing anything trying to turn into a tropical storm or hurricane. With that said, this tropical wave here that's working its way over toward Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago today, as that moves its way across the Caribbean, there's a slight chance down the road it may develop. So I want to take you out in time over the next 5 to 6 days just to track that with you. I like to show you everything I'm kind of seeing. I don't want to leave anything behind the scenes, just stuff I'm watching. Again, nothing alarming, but I want to show you that. So it's this area here. Now, with that said, it's not organized now, but this is going to bring us some of the heavier rain, and we've already had that in parts of Guyana, some of the rain near Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to see this tropical wave moving in. So we've got one right here. That's the one I'll be watching. Another one here, and then another one pulling off the coast of Africa. Now, sometimes these colors could look a little bit crazier than they actually are. The satellite angle is a little bit different, so sometimes they look a little bit worse as they come off the coast of Africa than they actually are. And that's why I'm here to let you know that sometimes things could look scary, but that not necessarily is. Now, here's the broad picture. Been watching that rain near parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, scattered elsewhere, but we're going to see that rain chance pick up as this tropical wave moves in and then starts to work its way across the Caribbean toward the Gulf of Mexico. So you can see it with me, and you can see how there's not any big signs of development. I'll zoom down in a moment, but I just want to show you this first. It's this area in here that I'm watching. Now, conditions aren't super conducive for development. There's a little bit of wind shear and a lot of dry air, so that's some good news. But in the short term, watching the rain, and then as we move forward, you can see the time frame working our way into tomorrow, Wednesday, and you see behind this area, this is that tropical wave moving by. Again, these are waves in the atmosphere, not in the water, but that is going to draw in some of the extra rain for some of us, and I'll show you that in the 3-day forecast. Now, as this tropical wave moves forward, you see it bringing some of the extra rain, and still you see nothing organized. This is by Thursday, and then let me take you into Friday. So just going out in time here, by the time we get into Friday, the tropical wave itself will be marching toward the Western Caribbean. So Jamaica down to Panama will see increased rain. Still nothing organized, nothing spinning, a lot of action back behind it. We'll see another tropical wave moving in too. But this one, as it moves near Jamaica and then over toward the Cayman Islands by the weekend, I've been noticing on some of the models that we've been seeing increased rain. So you could see here some of the extra rain that's kind of building. So this is why it has my attention. As this tropical wave moves in, it kind of opens up the door to some bigger areas of some rain. Now, as you can see here by Sunday, this is way out in time. I'm not seeing anything spinning up into a hurricane, but just kind of keeping an eye on this, because anytime we get an area of increased rain over these very warm water temperatures, I'll be watching out for any signs that may want to develop, and then eventually this should lift into the Gulf and then potentially kind of up toward the northern Gulf of Mexico. So I am watching this. It's this general area, this tropical wave moving into the Eastern Caribbean will bring in more moisture, and that's what we need to pay attention to as we go forward. Now, here's the bigger picture. Why do all these things come off the coast of Africa this time of year? Not only do we get areas of rain and storms, but we get some of the dust from the Saharan desert that gets caught up in the atmosphere. Those are the trade winds around the world. Just because different areas heat up and different areas are colder, that gives us that circulation, and this is the circulation. It's the trade winds bringing things in from the coast of Africa this time of year, and then the circulation up here changes. You get the fronts kind of over toward the Atlantic region of Canada, kind of a different outlook there where things move back toward Europe. So that's why we see areas of dust and we get these tropical waves moving across. Now, the next name on the list will be Debbie. We had Alberto that rolled into Mexico, of course. We had Beryl, and then Chris, right after Beryl formed, Chris formed ever so briefly. That formed near where Alberto was in the western portions of the Gulf of Mexico and rolled briefly into Mexico itself. That was such a quick hitting system. So Debbie, the next name on the list, then Ernesto, Francine, Gordon after that, Helene, Isaac, Joyce as we get down the road. But no major signs of anything, just watching this. Now I want to zoom down a little closer, and you can see today, this is today, there's some of the increased rain. It's not all day, it's not a guarantee we're going to get some rain. Scattered storms in Jamaica. I know some of us in Jamaica, for example, have been getting some rain. Others not so much. And then watching these scattered showers and storms tomorrow, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, not as much. Belize up toward Cozumel, but there's some of the rain. St. Lucia, Barbados, some increased rain as that tropical wave moves in. And you see it just kind of opening up the door, allowing more moisture to feed in. This is by Thursday, Eastern Caribbean, the rain, and watching out for a better chance of scattered showers and storms later in the week near Puerto Rico, U.S. British Virgin Islands, and the Dominican Republic. And then I'll watch that as it gets closer toward Jamaica and lifts its way up to the Gulf to see if anything does want to spin up with that. Watching the wave heights, this is for today. Nothing overall unusual today with these wave heights. This is for tomorrow, and you see the scale here. This is meters, this is feet. But as these tropical waves move in, we are going to see things getting choppier in the Atlantic waters as expected. This is tomorrow, and then we flip over into Friday, and you can see near Bermuda some choppier seas, and there are the seas building some once we get toward the end of the week. This is Thursday into Friday. Then we get those seas building near parts of the Bahamas down toward the northeastern Caribbean, the Atlantic waters. Things are going to crank up. Now, as far as the rain goes, we have a tropical wave moving in. So 3-day totals, some of the white showing up in Trinidad where we could have a few spots getting 100 millimeters or 4 inches of rain. That could lead to some flooding. That'll be possible, especially southern sections. In those higher totals, again, parts of Suriname through Guyana, extreme northeastern Venezuela. Please let me know what you're getting or not getting in the comments over the next few days. And if you're dealing with this flooding, thinking of you, that moisture just streams in. Not as much to the north, but still Grenada, St. Vincent the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Barbados, and up through Martinique and Dominica. We will still see some scattered showers and storms with this tropical wave. You see Guadeloupe, Dominica, 75 millimeters to 3 inches of rain possible for a 3-day total. And then eventually some of the scattered showers and storms working their way, popping up near Puerto Rico and the U.S. British Virgin Islands. So rain chance not super high as we get toward Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Haiti, Turks and Caicos, even up through the Bahamas, kind of typical with a few showers and storms around. But watching this tropical wave moving in, and then we'll see things building. Still near parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, we'll have some of the higher totals. The more north you get, not as much. El Salvador, Belize, the Yucatan of Mexico, not as much. We swing back toward Mexico City and points off toward the west. That's where we'll see some of those higher rain totals over the next 3 days. Now, we get to the northern end of this. Do want to touch on this. Our friends in the Atlantic region of Canada. There's going to be a lot of systems moving in, a couple fronts. There was some severe weather back toward the Chicago area yesterday. So there is a chance the next few days just kind of going through it. This is tomorrow afternoon into Thursday. Scattered areas of rain and storms, but some of those could be strong and a few of those could be severe. Watching out for some gusty winds. Can't even rule out a low-end risk of a tornado with that batch moving in. So Jamaica, this is not all day, but with the heating of the day, we are going to see some of us getting those scattered showers and storms. Cayman Islands, we're looking at about a 40 to 50% chance for today. And there we go, Trinidad and Tobago, at least the next 3 days. Just watching this moisture moving in. Let me know if you do get any areas of flooding. Barbados, 40 to 50% chance the next 3 days. And about a 40% chance the next couple days for us in St. Lucia. Grenada, rain chance 50 to 60%, and looking at about a 50% chance the next 2 days, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 40 to 50% chance in Martinique, and about a 30 to 40% chance the next couple days. Could even get a thunderstorm in Dominica. Guadeloupe, 40 to 50% chance all the way through Thursday. And there's that rain chance. Antigua and Barbuda, isolated shower storm, isolated St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, and a 30 to 40% chance Anguilla and St. Bart's. Rain chance about 30%, that's it. St. Martin, Saba, Statia, and about a 40% chance in Puerto Rico where we could get some thunderstorms and very hot weather. 30 to 40% chance U.S. and British Virgin Islands. 30% chance across the Bahamas. 30% chance Turks and Caicos over the next few days. 20% chance tomorrow. 30 to 40% chance Dominican Republic. Isolated areas of flooding. Thunderstorms, more likely southern sections. Isolated shower storm in Haiti. Rain chance 30%. Belize not super high, a 20% chance for today. And another spot where it's not super high at all, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, rain chance only about 10, maybe 20%. That means generally the dry conditions. But this is where we could have some of the flooding in Guyana with that tropical wave moving in and enhancing the rain. Same thing in Suriname. 30 to 40% chance of isolated to scattered showers and storms in Cuba. And the rain chance by the end of the week will bump up a little bit further. Costa Rica and Panama, 60% chance for today. 50 to 60% chance in Nicaragua. And looking at about a 50% chance today, 30% chance tomorrow. tomorrow in Honduras, favoring coastal sections. Guatemala and El Salvador, rain chance goes down some tomorrow and Thursday. 50 to 60% chance of scattered showers and storms in Mexico City and the Yucatan Peninsula. We could get a couple popping up. 20% chance across Colombia, not super high. 30% chance northern Venezuela, but as I showed you earlier, mainly northeastern Venezuela. And we get back through Bermuda, rain chance only about 10%. Did I call the Bahamas Bermuda earlier? I may have done that. I'll go back and check that. Either way, tracking these two tropical waves moving in, actually in that third one coming off the coast of Africa. Watching that first one for some signs of development as it crosses the Caribbean and eventually moves into the Gulf of Mexico. Overall, we're going to see these pockets of some dust in between, especially in parts of the Eastern Caribbean. But that's you could have the rain one day and then some of the dust another day. So kind of battling each other. So let me know as well if you do have any dust. So thank you for being with me, being part of this channel, and I hope you have a good day ahead.